Hey friends, it's Ruben with Hi-Fi MIDI. In this video, I'm going to be comparing 6 different virtual instruments that simulate the sound of a nylon string guitar. My aim is to help you decide which one is right for you by the time we wrap up. So let's get into it. The 6 contenders are, in order of cost: Mod Art classical guitar, Native Instruments session guitars picked nylon, Mike Georgiades soft nylon guitar, Nylon Sky by Spectrasonics, Ample Guitar Luthier by Ample Sound, and Real Guitar Classic by Music Labs, although the price is for the entire plugin, which includes several guitars. I just want to give you a heads up. I might not have every virtual instrument out there, but these are the ones that I have. If you know of any better ones, drop a comment and let me know. Let's quickly play a little of each before comparing them. I've matched the gain of each of them so you're not tricked into thinking that the louder ones sound better. So this is completely dry, and this is classical guitar by Mod Art. Here's Native Instruments picked nylon. Here is MG Soft Nylon. Here is Nylon Sky. Here's Ample Guitar Luthier. And finally, here's Real Guitar Classic. So right off the bat, with its dry and raw sound, we have a variation of quality, beauty, and expression. All right, so let's start with Mod Art classical guitar and talk about its features. Now, this is the only one in the list that is modeled, meaning that it uses an algorithm or complex math to recreate the sound of a guitar. Now, because of this, you're not getting the true sonic fingerprint of the instrument. So in my opinion, this sounds a little thin, but what it lacks in harmonic richness, it makes up for in its features. And this is going to be a quick overview. There are so many controls for this guitar. If you click on this backdrop, you get a host of parameters like plucking noise and plucking points, so you can select the intensity or the softness of the pick sound. You can select the brightness based on the dynamics. So if I want it to sound really dark on my piano dynamics or forte dynamics, I can adjust all that. Or if I wanted to sound bright, I can do that as well. So that's a lot of control. Let me add some reverb, because reverb with classical guitar usually makes it sound more beautiful and dreamy. Now you hear the little effects, the squeaks, the release noise. This is going to be on the casual setting. If you switch it all the way to pro, it's going to get rid of a lot of those sounds, so it sounds cleaner. As you can see on the fretboard, this follows the rules of guitar pretty nicely. It has a hand position. If you want to switch that hand position, you have to select these keys right here, and it will move the position. So you do get the true timbre of the instrument as you go up the neck. On the left side here, you have your key switches. So right here is flageolet, which is a harmonic. Then rasgueado, which is like a strum for flamenco. In my opinion, that sounds a little fake, but it's cool that they have that option there. Hopefully they improve that in the future. Here they have a thumb sound, so if you're playing this right here, you can assign the thumb sound to the low notes, which is going to darken the sound. But you have to program that in later on. This has a cool mode called glissando mode, which is latched, meaning that if you hit it once, it's going to stay there until you change a key switch. So with this, if I play from one note to another and hold both notes at the same time, it's going to restrike the target note. But if I just play them separately, it's going to slide to it, but it's not going to restrike it. That's a really cool feature. And the slide button slides up and down depending on the velocity. The higher velocities slide up, and the lower velocities slide down. These next two are note repeats, which let you play a tremolo naturally. Then we have palm mute. Over on the right side, rather than jumping by section, we can jump by position. These are all key switches, and this is a good way to get to the part of the neck that you want very quickly. But that would be done mostly in MIDI programming afterward. You can adjust so many parameters, and this is the cool thing about Pianotech software. Now, this is $50. However, it's $50 if you own Pianotech 8. This would be an add-on instrument, and I think it's a really good deal. You get a lot. I mean, you are going to sacrifice some of that authenticity because it's not sampled, but you have a lot of features, and it takes up almost no RAM. This is using your computer's CPU, and then you have a host of reverbs and effects, delay, all these things that can make it sound much more rich and beautiful. Next, we have Pick Nylon by Native Instruments. Now, this is a beautiful guitar that has many, many presets. It only has 4 articulations. So this is open. Let me open up a different articulation. That is so beautiful. Now, the recording quality on this is top notch. If you look at the list of preamps and the guitar that they actually used for this, it was a master built classical guitar. This sounds amazing right out of the box. So on the left hand side, we have those 4 articulations. Here's open, here's muted. And then you can change the fret position so that you basically go up the neck and get those different samples. I'm not sure if they actually sampled those frets or if it's simulated, but either way, you can get those different tones. That's a really good option. The only thing I wish is that this was MIDI assignable. I don't know if it is. I haven't found it. On D1, we have flageolet, which is the harmonic. Very inspiring. And then we have tremolo, and this is a very natural sounding tremolo. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. What sets this apart from the others is its pattern mode. If you open up the side pane, you'll see the melody, then the pattern version. Pattern version will have more patterns available, but in this case, you have different performances that you can play a chord to. And this is going to play back in that chord, and it's going to sound very natural. This is great if you want to add a pattern to your song. The only downside is that it's very limited because you can't edit the actual notes. You can't edit the rhythms. The only thing you can do is offset the timing of the rhythms, but that takes some planning and some problem-solving skills. The other cool thing is that it comes with these little guitar effects, these magenta keys right here. We have our endings. This is how it sounds just by itself. That goes up, that goes down. And then here's the body hits, which are velocity sensitive. So when you hold a chord and you press a slide up, it slides up from that. Now, it's not a true legato, but they do it so well that it tricks your ear into thinking that it actually slid up to that note. And then the slide down sounds equally as gorgeous. I just love this guitar. You can play it in polyphonic mode or mono, so you can only play one note at a time. I prefer playing in poly. Next, it has different miking positions. You can double it. And with this one, just like mod art classical guitar, you can change the intensity of the nail sound. In this case, if I just want to use the soft part of the fingers, I'm going to choose round, and it's going to sound very warm. If I go to direct, it's going to use more of the nail, the fingernail. You can change resonance, you can change fret noise, lots of parameters. Then it has its own effects, more effects than classical guitar. Then you can change playback options. I really loved using this one because it sounds great right out of the box, as I said earlier, and it sits really well in the mix because of how it's recorded. It's using 2 preamps, I believe, but some vintage, very high-end preamps. and the guitar itself is just amazing. This is only 99 bucks. I think it's a great price for this. The next one is sold by Spitfire, the MG Soft Nylon guitar. This is also $99. When you get it, it comes like this. It's very simple. I'm not a big fan of the artwork. It looked like they took off the background from a picture, from a stock photo of a guitar. You can see the edges of the lines. This is not a good sign right off the bat. But let's hear it. It says soft nylon guitar, so this is meant to sound soft. Let's add some reverb to this. So I'm going to go to the levels. And I do want a hull. Let's hear the vibrato. Doesn't sound like it has vibrato. When I press C0, it shows me the open strings in green. And then here, color-coded in blue and magenta, we have the notes that are playing on the E string. And then it goes up to the next string. This is a good feature right here. You're getting somewhat of a realistic playback. And then all the high notes are going to be played on the top string. As you go up, you see that the position moves. So then these colors move, indicating that this is your new hand position. So you can move up the neck with these key switches right here. And when you do that, you get that slide. You get that squeak sound. I like that. Over here on B4, we have a slide. But the only thing it does is that it slides to the note. Up here on C5, we have a hit. And what's cool is that when you play the string and then you hit this key, it cuts off the notes. The guitar sounds gorgeous. I love the fact that it's soft. It can be used for soft music. Now let's listen to the effects, to the sound effects. Here's fret noise. All these little squeaks right here, these add so much to the music. So those are good options. You can change the guitar width, a delay time, panning, effects, string attack. Let's listen to that. So when I bring that down, you hear more of that nail sound. This is a very simple library. It's very easy to use. But I have to say that despite it having a good sound, it lacks a lot of features that I would personally use if I'm programming realistic stuff. And I didn't hear any vibrato. I hope it's just a bug on my end, but that's an absolute must-have. I do like that it follows the rules of the guitar, but In my opinion, this is not worth $99. Probably 49, even I would even pay 60 for this if I needed something really soft, especially compared to Native Instruments Nylon, which gives you all this plus more. This is not that impressive for the price. I'm not saying it's a bad guitar, it's just missing a lot of features. Nylon Sky is by Spectrasonics, and it's an extension to the Omnisphere software. This is $149. And I have to say that when I started playing this, the keyboardist in me smiled from ear to ear. This is a beautiful guitar. Now let me open up the side panel, and you can see all the presets here, which take advantage of all the features here, the parameters, the effects, the articulations. So here it is, and this is Guitar Espressivo. I'm gonna go to a different one. Here's a clean. Now this seems like a beefed up version of the old Logic classical guitar that has that slide in when you play at a high velocity, except this sounds so much better. This guitar is very in your face. Now there is some hiss in there that you hear. I don't know if it's the room or the preamps or something. Whenever you play a note, you hear that hiss. And I've never liked that about Spectrasonics instruments, but it does sound really good. Has a nice vibrato. Now you can control many parameters like EQ, effects, miking. You can turn these off easily. Let's go through the presets so we can see how they take advantage of these parameters. Here's flamenco. That is very fun to play. The legato transitions on here are immaculate. That note off sound is very loud. I wonder if you can control it. All right, let's go on. I've never liked this about Spectrasonics though, that they resample those low notes so you can go really low outside of the range of the instrument. The reason why I don't like that is because it makes me think that they didn't sample every note on the instrument, but rather they sampled some and then they retuned it for the next note and then the next note and then recorded the next note after that, and so on and so forth. This is a common technique used to save time recording. I don't like it. It ruins some of the authenticity, but in this case, it does sound really good in the normal playing range. All right, I want to hear some different techniques. Here's muted. I love those squeaks and rattles. Let's hear some reverb. Now they have the cloud reverb, which is really cool because it adds some harmonics. All right, let's go on. Here's harmonics. Now, this type of instrument reminds me of having a keyboard workstation with all these band instruments, orchestral instruments. They're not made like sample libraries where you have to program in the key switches, but they have all those things available by touch. This is definitely a performer's instrument. Yes, you can get a good sound by programming the MIDI, but this is for people that like to play. And here is picked. The legato is okay. You can set the legato range. Here's a minor third. I think it's better as a minor second. Then they have tremolo. What I like about this tremolo is that there's a variation in the speed and dynamic. So it sounds realistic. So it's not just notes playing at the same exact tempo that sounds mechanical. This sounds natural. Let's add some reverb. That's really gorgeous. That little rattle you hear, or that scratching noise, is the sound a guitar makes when you're playing vibrato really intensely. You're sliding the strings across the frets, so it's scratching them. That's realistic. That's good. And there are many beautiful presets here. Some that take advantage of the arpeggiator, and this is new that I've seen within Omnisphere. And this is the down up. This may have been here, but I don't use it. But this simulates a strumming sound. So what it's essentially doing is taking the notes that I'm playing and playing them in a certain direction. So some notes are going to be played slightly before others, and that simulates a strum sound. You can adjust the intensity, the direction, the timing of the notes, so the rhythm. It's good for people that like using arpeggiators. I don't personally like using this stuff because I don't use an arpeggiator that much. I'd rather have a strum key or strum keys, but this sounds pretty good. Okay, let's listen to some more presets and then we'll move on. That's really cool. So these are really using those effects to their advantage to get you many colors, different moods. The pattern switcher allows you to choose different arpeggio patterns so that you're not just stuck with one during a performance. Again, this is not my favorite workflow, but it's a cool feature. We'll hear a little bit more of this and then go on. I love those soft notes. Now, is this worth $149? Personally, I think it's a little pricey for an extension, especially the fact that you don't really have too much control over selecting your articulations or strum patterns other than creating these stacks in multi-mode. But in my opinion, this is not a great way to do things. Here, you can stack different articulations and assign key switches to them. But it is a gorgeous, inspiring guitar, and it's made by Spectrasonics. If you've used Omnisphere, it is an incredibly powerful and beautiful and greatly designed plugin. Next, we have Ample Guitar Luthier. This is a few years old, but they've updated the engine. This comes with pick and finger library. I'm going to show you the finger library first. This comes with built-in effects as well. This is using an Alhambra Luthier guitar, another expensive guitar. Ample Sound has really high standards with the recording quality as well. And here it is. They've recorded every fret and string. It's just so fun to play. Here's the pick library, which is an authentic pick. Now this one comes with different articulations as well. Sustain, natural harmonic, palm mute, slide it in and out, legato slide, and then hammer on pull off. So all the basic articulations you're going to use. It doesn't have tremolo. I wish it did have tremolo. That'd be nice. You have control over your mics, your effects, like release, volume, string slide, resonance, the fret attack sound, and the fret release sound. What I love about this and using it in my day-to-day work is switching between the instrument mode and strummer using Riffer, all the ways that you can achieve the performance that you want. Ample Sound has really set a standard in the industry for this. So I'm going to take off some of the reverb, go to strummer, and here you can set chord banks. You have a strum sequencer, and all of this can be dragged in onto your DAW. You can create custom chords. When you turn it on, here you have your strum keys. Strum down and strum up. And then muted strokes. Then palm mute. Sounds a lot better to me with the pick library. And then you can control finer parameters like strum time, release, stroke volume, the timing and separation of notes, and the randomness of the velocity. Then if you want even more realistic performances, you can use Riffer. It's like a MIDI editor just for guitar. So you have your 6 strings. You have access to all the articulations and chords. You can mix strumming, arpeggios, slides, melodies, you name it. This is one of the most important features in guitar MIDI programming, in my opinion. Then you have effects like compression, EQ, delay, and reverb. So this guitar is built to play and react like a real guitar, as if you had the instrument in your hands. Not 100% perfectly, because I don't think there's any plugin that does that. But this one comes the closest, in my opinion. It has great sound. It doesn't sound as processed and rich as, let's say, Nylon Sky. This one sounds a little bit more natural, as if you're getting the raw recording of a guitar done really well, and then you add effects to it. Whereas the other ones, like Pick Nylon and Nylon Sky, sound a little more processed. So they sound like they have a certain character. The Ample Sound one has a very sterile character. And that's up to your preference. I personally like having clean samples so that I can do my own coloring. That being said, I do like the colors of Nylon Sky and Pick Nylon. This comes in at $169, but you get those 2 libraries. And this is probably the most flexible one in the bunch, function-wise. Now let's go to the last one, and this is Real Guitar Classic by Music Labs. Now Music Labs makes really good guitars. I use them with my Ample Sound guitars. I use their electric guitars though. This one is a bit old, so it suffers on the realism side and the beauty of the samples, but I had to have it in here because it is a pretty well-known company. So this one does follow the rules of guitar. I'm going to go ahead and turn on some reverb. I'm not a big fan of the reverb, to be honest. It does sound better though with reverb than without. But this one has so many customization options and so many parameter controls. You can choose where the pick position is. All the way to the bridge. Well, sort of. Right in the middle. You can also control the pick sound. So if you want a lot of pick, that doesn't sound good, so you can take it off completely. And then you have control over effects like fret noise, release, all that good stuff that you should have. So there's so much to cover on this. I'll just try to give you an overview. They have many modes like solo. Harmony adds harmony sounds, so you can choose power chord. These black keys right here will control things like strum or bridge mute. And then the gray ones will repeat the note that you played. Let me go to solo mode. Then you have a lot of key switches. You can use all these gray keys as your key switches and customize them the way that you want. I'll go through a couple of them. Here's palm mute. Tremolo. Tremolo sounds awful in my opinion. It's too straight. This is where this instrument really suffers on some of these articulations. It sounds better with their newer instruments. I think they just haven't updated the actual samples. You have things like bend. Let's listen to bend. Here is the vibrato. The vibrato sounds a little too wild in my opinion. So this one you have to really dig deep into the menu to make it sound passable. That's not so with their other guitars. The other guitars sound a lot better. But it has pattern mode and song mode, which let you simulate performances just like Pick Nylon. However, you can't customize it that much, and they don't sound that great. So if I want to build a song, I can select the pattern from this library and drag that into this little mini DAW, double click and select the chord. I do like this feature and I wish they had done this better overall because this is a great feature right here. Let's listen to that. And then you're supposed to be able to drag it to your DAW like this. But will it play back? So I have to press the track button. It's good that it worked that time. It seems more for people who want to start building ideas but don't want to use that sound. This is a good idea generator. There's better options out there for a more authentic sound. So all in all, I think it's nice that it comes with their guitar bundle. So you're not purchasing it by itself. To me, it's not worth much. My top 3 out of this list, in order of sound, like just the wow factor of the sound, I would have to say pick Nylon. Based on overall functionality and quality, I would say Ample Guitar Luthier. As far as inspiration goes, Nylon Sky is up there as well. My least favorite out of the bunch would have to be Real Guitar Classic. Mod Art is it sounds pretty good to me. It's just still not quite authentic, but it's almost there, and it's the best sounding modeled acoustic guitar or classical guitar I've ever heard on the market. Well, friends, I hope that you enjoyed this comparison video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can stay up to date with all my videos. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought about this. Which one is your favorite out of all of these? And feel free to share this video. Thanks for watching.